Is there any idea of a video that you could put together, or you could just give me the script for me to read it so it explains how this data is collected? You just said that if they were on a gutter related website at some point, for me to explain that, I'm sort of like wishy-washy saying it to my clients. Is there a way that you could put together a video that I could share with them? Here's how the data is collected.
Yes, the sourcing for most of modern data is a custom Snowflake solution that tracks billions of URLs, keywords, and pixels. You imagine, Google has a pixel and Meta has a pixel and, GoDaddy has a pixel and all of these places have pixels and there's API access to all these things. So it depends on who you're sourcing the data from, but this is how most of modern data is collected. That's how we source data, or our data providers source data, is through these custom Snowflake solutions that track billions of URLs. As to the date and relevancy or how frequent, that's the whole point of intent data. The whole point of intent data is to stop targeting people who have expressed behavioral interest 5 years ago, get a snapshot of people who have looked within the last 7 days or the last 9 days, is I think as far out as we can go. And frankly, that's just because if you go 9 days out, just in the US, and you've had that snapshot, it is a tremendous amount of data. In reality, it's like, you look at the last 7 to 9 days of people who have expressed interest. The other thing I will add to this, the really interesting thing about intent data is that intent isn't just a Google search. Maybe they looked at a reputable company. Maybe they landed on a DIY home improvement site that has a high ranking, and they're looking up ways to maybe fix their own problem. At the same time, they're Googling service providers, and intent is actually a combination of signals that differentiates it from just sort of a looky-loo or a tire kicker. Now, it's not infallible. So, of course, in those snapshots, with all of that tremendous amount of data, you may get a few tire kickers, but your odds go up tremendously when everybody that you looked at is sort of indicating all of these cross sections of behavior all within the last 7 days. There's a high likelihood that they're looking to buy what it is you're selling.
Beautiful. So what I was thinking was, if you give me a script where I can take that clip of what you just said, turn it into an AI made video, right? So it just explains it without me having to sell it in that way, because I don't think anybody even understands that I'm working with, what a signal is, what a SHA 256 is, or anything. So,
way to say it, like when you break the law and you use your social security 10 years later, and then at a hotel, then they come knock on the door. That's what this SHA 256, the same thing, same concept.
Well, the roofers and gutter companies that I work with are just like, give me the leads. I don't understand. I don't care. Just, all right. So it's intent based. Great. So if I can do a video, or you give me any type of pointing of a direction, I'll copy that script. I can create an AI created video very easily. So my last question is there a way to gauge the amount of signals being sent? So let's just say you give me a list of 100 people. These 5 people, this is a signal strength of a 70 out of 100. That means these people freaking hit so many of these signals. Therefore, this is a very high value person. We know that going in. Is there any way to figure out the signal strength? Is probably the best way to put it.
Yes, and the technology and framework and infrastructure is already built. We're starting to bring the first parts online. It's just going to take us a bit to get a little, up to speed. So maybe, I don't know, maybe in 6 months' time, we'll really be able to drill down and have some kind of weight on every signal that comes in. But it's not far off. I'm playing it close to the vest because it's frankly the most exciting sort of breakthrough and thing that we've discovered in this whole company in all of our time. And it works and it's amazing, and we get to be our own signal. And I think that's the most important thing. Getting it direct from the source, removing as many middlemen as possible, has always been our goal, is to basically be able to plug you right into a mechanism where you can, frankly, build your own automation that will do that. There's going to be some really exciting stuff coming in the future.
One more thing, Brian. Is there a way that I could shimmy down the data down to that one phone number? Remember, we were using, whether it was skip trace, wireless, now we're using personal. Is there a way that my clients can just download the same exact phone number, email, address without having to go through all of that?
You would just have to pre-select these. Use the skip trace wireless. I was getting feedback and I was balancing it. Skip trace wireless is still the best.
Skip trace wireless still the best.
We're working on some really cool enrichment function for this. So this is the difference of why what Brian does is so damn authentic and so real, as far as like wanting everybody in this community to really win, building an ecosystem that frankly is dependent on your ability to do well with it in order for him to do okay with it. This is the idea of where while other companies will secretly behind the scenes make these partnerships and you don't really know what's going on with it. Is this guy really here to help, or is this just another way that these guys monetize? This is the difference between customers and community. And so I just want to say I appreciate everybody who's here and everybody who has a white label account and everybody who's been patient with us as we've been growing as a community, because I think we are on the beginning of something that's going to be amazing over